First off, we have those racial tweets Hailey posted 10 plus years ago that came to the surface recently. In 2019, Hailey Bieber found herself at the center of a scandal when some of her old tweets resurfaced. Bieber was called out for posting some seemingly racist statements, which she has since deleted. In one post from January 2012, Bieber allegedly wrote, "Shut up before I smack you back to your own country." In another tweet posted in November 2013, Bieber reportedly wrote, "To those foreigners who don't celebrate Thanksgiving, so sorry your country didn't have pilgrims to start such a sick holiday." Understandably, Bieber faced a slew of backlash for posting such problematic messages, with one user on X creating a thread to highlight some of the model's most egregious posts. The thread even highlighted Bieber's alleged use of multiple racial slurs, suggesting that her online activities had been highly offensive in the past. Next, let's discuss Hailey allegedly bullying a classmate in school. Having grown up as the daughter of movie star Stephen Baldwin, Hailey Bieber has likely experienced immense privilege throughout her life. As a celebrity herself, Bieber's character has been called into question on several occasions, with one critic suggesting the model was not very nice in middle school. According to a since deleted video, TikTok user Kimona Elizabeth posted, "Think you can hurt me? Hailey Bieber was my middle school bully," she says. Elizabeth started a follow-up video in which she elaborated on her claim. "I was in 5th grade, Elizabeth explained. Hailey was in 6th. She bullied me. Middle school is full of kids who are either the bullies or the bullied. Unfortunately, I was the bullied, and for that year, Hailey was my bully." However, Elizabeth didn't seem to hold a particular grudge against Justin Bieber's wife. Still, it's curious to find out that she may have had some shady interactions with some of her classmates when she was younger. Hailey's uncle, Alec Baldwin, got in some serious trouble in 2021 on a movie set. On October 21st, 2021, at the Bonanza Creek Ranch in Bonanza City, New Mexico, cinematographer Helena Hutchins was fatally wounded, and director Joel Souza was also injured on the set of the film Rust. And a live round was discharged from a revolver used as a prop by actor Alec Baldwin. The sad and accidental death prompted a discourse on occupational safety in the film industry, the treatment of its employees, and also the use of real guns as props. In 2011, Alec was kicked off an American Airlines flight after he refused to turn off his cell phone when crew members asked him to. The actor shared via X that he had been playing Words with Friends when the incident occurred. "Flight attendant on American reamed me out for playing Words with Friends while we sat at the gate not moving. Hashtag no wonder American Air is bankrupt," he wrote on X. But oddly, 30 Rock plays In Flight on American. Hashtag there's always United. Wow. A statement posted to the American Airlines Facebook page read, "The passenger was extremely rude to the crew, calling them inappropriate names and using offensive language." After his removal from the plane, Alec continued his journey on a later American Airlines flight. Now on the 3 o'clock American flight, he says on X, "The flight attendants already look smarter." Wow. In November 2013, TMZ caught Alec, Hailey's uncle, on video using a homophobic slur during an argument with a photographer. "I apologize and I will retire the slur from my vocabulary," he wrote via X. His MSNBC interview show Up Late was cancelled less than 2 weeks later. Only 5 episodes of the show had aired up to that point. Now, back to Hailey. Fans think Hailey was obsessed with Selena Gomez and Justin's past relationship after some old tweets were resurfaced. "I don't care what anybody says, but Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez together is the definition of a teenage dream. Hashtag word," one of her tweets read. Another read, "She is beyond flawless, and he's Bieber. They are the perfect relationship, and I'm forever alone." Fans think it's borderline creepy that Hailey made these tweets and then years later married Justin. In 2023, TikTok blew up after the Kylie Jenner, Selena Gomez, and Hailey Bieber scandal. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me explain. Selena was photographed in a bikini, which indicated she had gained weight, but of course still looked gorgeous. But the press was ripping into her, fat shaming and body shaming her for her recent weight gain. Soon after, Hailey posted a TikTok where she lip-synced to I'm Not not saying she deserved it, but God's timing is always right. She deleted it shortly after. There was no direct connection between these two events, but Selena's fans accused Hailey of posting it to body shame Selena. Selena recently commented on a video speculating about this whole theory, saying, "I don't let these things get me down. Be nice to everyone." She also commented on several other TikToks shaming Hailey. Selena later posted a story on Instagram showing how she accidentally over-laminated her eyebrows. Kylie Jenner, less than a day later, posted a story of her eyebrows, and then Hailey's soon after. Selena fans assumed Kylie was mocking her. Hailey has never said anything directly to Selena, but this is the closest it's gotten, so it turned the fire up. Selena's fans' current form of activism is to follow Selena on Instagram and unfollow Hailey and Kylie. Because of this, Selena has overtaken Kylie as the most followed woman on Instagram. Hailey has also been accused of being rude at restaurants. In July 2020, a TikTok video was posted by Julia Carolan in which she rated celebrities she served while working at a restaurant in Manhattan. The video has been watched over 3 million times and called out several famous people, including Kylie Jenner, Gigi Hadid, and Hailey Bieber. Next up, we have Miss Bieber, she says in the video. "This is gonna be controversial. I've met her a handful of times, and every time she was never nice," she continued. "I really want to like her, but I have to give her like a 3.5 stars out of 10. Sorry." It seems that Carolan's impression of Justin Bieber's wife was far from flattering. Eventually, the bad review got all the way back to the model herself, who reportedly commented on the TikTok saying, "Just came across this video and wanted to say sorry if I've ever given you bad vibes or a bad attitude." She continued, "That's not ever my intention." Hopefully, she's since changed her ways. Now let's talk about Hailey shading Taylor Swift. In 2023, a video of Hailey Bieber hosting an episode of Host the Mic in 2018 started circulating online on TikTok. In the clip, Hailey made a gagging face when Taylor Swift's album Reputation was mentioned. Understandably, Swift fans were not pleased by Bieber's apparent diss of the pop star, and Selena Gomez enthusiasts apparently took the gesture as an affront to them, too. Somewhat surprisingly, Selena decided to respond to the viral clip of Bieber saying, "So sorry, my best friend is and continues to be one of the best in the game." Selena commented on the video, proving she definitely has Taylor's back. But that's not all. The Biebers again hit the headlines in 2023 when another old video recirculated. In this particular clip, Justin impersonates an unforgettable moment involving Taylor in which the Cruel Summer singer got upset about bananas while on medication following eye surgery. Hailey could be heard laughing in the background of the video, leading fans to believe that the Biebers were ruthlessly mocking Taylor once again. Lastly, let's discuss Hailey allegedly copying Selena Gomez, as well as being embattled in a number of online feuds with Selena. Hailey Bieber has also been accused of copying the Only Murders in the Building star. For instance, Gomez launched her cooking show Selena and Chef on Max in 2020, giving viewers a glimpse inside her own kitchen. In December 2022, Hailey launched her own cooking show on YouTube called What's in My Kitchen, which took fans inside her house. As a result, comparison between the two series were quickly made. Tattoos provide further evidence that Hailey has copied Selena. Both Bieber and Gomez have G tattoos behind their ears, which is certainly a strange coincidence. In 2015, Refinery29 revealed that Gomez's tattoo was a tribute to her little sister Gracie. Meanwhile, Hailey was reportedly one of many celebrities to get a G tattoo behind her ear in tribute to her pastor Chad Veach's daughter Georgia, who lives with a rare brain condition. Whether or not Hailey actually decided to copy Gomez is unclear, though it doesn't seem as if fans will stop believing that Justin Bieber's wife is taking notes from his ex, Selena.
Now first up, we have that Kendrick claim that Drake uses ghostwriters for songs, which is a pretty big accusation to level at someone if they haven't already admitted it. But unfortunately for Drake, this seems to be more fact than fiction, because several of his former ghostwriters have spoken out against him. Quentin Miller is a ghostwriter ghostwriter who is credited on a multitude of songs from Drake's 2015 mixtape. If you're reading this, it's too late. Now, he also claimed that he has not been compensated for his work on the project. The revelation was made during an interview with Vlad TV, where Miller explained his sketchy publishing deal with the rapper, where he never received a publishing check for his work on the mixtape. In the interview, he said that it was a horrible situation and he had to feed his family off getting paid under the table. And sadly, he couldn't get out of that deal until 2020. The Atlanta artist was exposed by Meek Mill during the summer of 2015 while Meek was beefing with Drake. Now, the feud eventually led to Drake releasing Charged Up and Back to Back, which essentially ended the fight, but clearly there's still plenty of rumors floating around that Drake doesn't write his own stuff. Next, we have to talk about his relationship with Millie Bobby Brown. As we know, the Stranger Things actress has become entangled in the latest Drake and Kendrick feud that has been ongoing for the past several weeks. Kendrick unleashed a barrage of diss tracks like 616 in LA, which mocked Drake's personal life and his focus on topping the charts. Next, his track Euphoria referenced the TV show that Drake produces. Then came Meet the Grams, which took a much sharper turn, targeting his son and his family life. Now, obviously, Drake wasn't about to stay silent. He hit back with the track Family Matters, turning tables on Kendrick. Just a day later though, he dropped The Heart Part 6, where he name-dropped Millie Bobby Brown in his song, responding to claims that he was a creep. While Kendrick did accuse him of that gross behavior, he never referenced a person that he was entangled with. This is why when Drake replied, stating that he had never touched Millie Bobby Brown, the internet erupted. It was almost like he admitted something that he didn't need to, because obviously fans have been worried about their relationship for quite some time, and the whole thing is really weird, so it's no wonder it didn't sit right with a lot of people. Moving on to all the hypocrisy with Drake and using AI. He posted one of his diss tracks called Tailor Made Freestyle on his Instagram, which features AI-generated voices of Tupac Shakur and Snoop Dogg. The fake Shakur says that Kendrick should defend West Coast hip-hop and his name, while the fake Snoop urges Kendrick to release a response faster. Now, the whole thing was very bizarre, but the reference was pretty clear. Kendrick famously claimed that he was visited by Tupac in his dreams. He said, "It's a real situation where I was sleeping one night and a silhouette came and he said, 'Keep doing what you're doing, don't let my music die.'" So Drake was making fun of that infamous quote. But he then deleted the song pretty quickly after Tupac's estate threatened legal action. And it was all a bit hypocritical, considering he's been very outspoken about using AI. Now, this track called Heart on My Sleeve blew up on TikTok last year before it got completely removed from the internet. It sounded like Drake was rapping, but it was actually created with AI. Now, the song has a scratchy, low-quality vibe, and the vocals are sometimes slurred and glitchy, but the general consensus is that it was a total banger, so it's sad that it got removed from the internet. Then it's been made clear that there's some sort of leak in Drake's team and that he can't trust anybody. Why? Well, when Kendrick put out Meet the Grams, the cover art is a photo of Drake's belongings and was most likely taken from inside his own house. Now, that is just insane. It was filled with receipts and prescription drugs, including the weight loss drug Ozempic, which Drake has been accused of taking. Now, there's also some pretty other shady things on there too, but you'll have to do your own research into that, as we have to follow this site's guidelines. Now, the cover art wasn't the only shocking thing though. In the song, Lamar addresses his verses to Drake's son, Adonis, and Drake's parents. "Dear Adonis, I'm sorry that man is your father," he bluntly opens the track. And he also dedicated a verse to Drake's alleged 11-year-old daughter, who would be the second child the rapper has kept hidden from the public. Drake, however, was quick to jump on Instagram and shut down the claim that he had a secret daughter. Then Drake's music label stepped in. It's been alleged from an insider that Drake's label wants this feud to stop. They said PG Lang Kendrick and EXO The Weeknd were asked by Universal Music Group UMG to end the beef with OVO Drake. Now, Kendrick apparently isn't budging at all, but UGM is pressing hard on their request to squash the beef. UGM also had a Zoom meeting with all the parties involved, and they want Kendrick either directly or said through PG Lang to post a statement clarifying that Drake isn't a lover of the young, if you get what I mean. Drake is losing the beef in UGM's eyes, so from UGM's perspective, the sooner this beef ends, the better. The accusations directed at Drake are costing UMG, Nike, and other parties a lot of money. Now, the fact that they even had to step in is just embarrassing. Now, this beef has turned into something that is life-threatening though. Now, this feud has been taken up a level as someone drove past Drake's house in Toronto and shot his security guard. Police said suspects in a vehicle shot the guard at the corner of the Park Lane Circle mansion around 2 a.m. before fleeing the scene. Now, it remains unclear if Drake was home at the time the incident occurred or whether he was a target of the shooting. Police said it was too early in their investigation to speak about a motive, but they said, "We are in contact with Drake's team and they are cooperating." It said that the police are currently assessing video that captures the shooting, but is not releasing information about it due to video quality issues. The victim is in hospital and is in serious condition, they added. Now, witnesses told Canadian media that he had sustained several wounds, including one to the chest. Now, their beef has gotten extremely personal, but violence is never the answer. Okay, so now on to some non-related Kendrick beef secrets. In October 2014, TMZ reported that a stripper going by Johnny Blaze filed a police report after allegedly receiving threats from Drake and his entourage after she slept with the rapper. She claimed that Drake believed that she was going to speak publicly about her hookup with him and sent her angry text messages, and several of his associates began banging on her door at her home and threatening her life. Now, Drake's team denied the allegation, and days later, Blaze somewhat backpedaled on her claims, saying that she never actually called the police on Drake specifically because my friend came home and she said that 2 guys said that they were looking for me. So I documented that for my protection, and for some odd reason people were calling me loony. We were just supposed to be friends and we had some disagreements, some things were said and some threats were being made as far as argument, and that was it. Now, she added that she leaked text messages between them to prove that they were in fact in contact because people were accusing her of lying about knowing him personally, and she denied that she ever bashed him. She said that she believed that the threat she received after her encounter with Drake may have just been a coincidence. Next, we have his relationship with Rihanna. Drake and Rihanna were first linked in May 2009 when Page Six reported that the pair were spotted kissing at a Lucky Strike bowling alley in New York City. However, they both denied any romance rumors and insisted they were just friends. However, in Drake's song Fireworks, he dropped major hints that there was more to the story. He would later tell the New York Times that Rihanna essentially played him and broke his heart, whining, "You know what she was doing to me, she was doing exactly what I've done to so many women throughout my life, which is show them quality time, then disappear. I was like, wow, this feels terrible," he said. Sources then told Life in Style that Rihanna caught Drake sending some rather sketchy texts with other women while they were dating in 2016. The magazine reported that one of these women was Dakota Gonzalez, an Instagram model, while Bossip claimed that he was also seeing another Instagram model, India Love, while he was supposedly dating Rihanna. Now we have his secret son. In May 2017, TMZ reported that former adult star Sophie Brazo claimed that she was pregnant with Drake's child and that Drake told her to terminate the pregnancy. Now, his rep denied it, saying in a statement, "This woman has a very questionable background. She has admitted to having multiple relationships. We understand she may be having problems getting into the United States. She is one of the many people claiming he got them pregnant." However, the rep also added that Drake would handle his business properly if he was proven to be the child's father, and TMZ reported in late May 2018 that Drake had been sending Sophie money since just before the birth of her son, Adonis, and that he believes he may be the father but is awaiting a DNA test to prove his paternity. Now, Drake's potential paternity was never made too public until Pusha T released a diss track, The House of Adion, in May 2018, which referenced Adonis and Sophie by name. And then we have the bottle throwing. In June 2012, Drake and Chris Brown reportedly got into a bottle throwing bar fight in a New York City nightclub, WIP. Now, Chris's face was injured, as were members of Drake and Chris's respective entourages, and even innocent bystanders who were just trying to enjoy a night out. Now, the club also suffered significant property damage from the incident, with a lot of broken glass and furniture, as well as scratches on the floor from shattered glass. Now, a club prompter who was at WIP at the night of the incident claimed that Chris sent a bottle of champagne to Drake, who returned it with a vulgar note about Rihanna, with whom Chris had been in a volatile on-again, off-again relationship. However, TMZ reported that Drake started the drama when he started screaming at Chris from his side of the VIP section. Now, the pair both left the scene before cops arrived and denied any wrongdoing, though Drake's team tried to pin the issue on Meek Mill, and neither of them faced any charges.
His first noted transgression happened almost 4 decades ago in 1986. Wahlberg and his friend group at the time had a civil rights injunction issued for them because they were throwing things and yelling racially insensitive words. Then 2 years after that, he proved he could be worse, acting in an aggressive manner towards 2 Vietnamese men. He was sentenced to 2 years for that one, served 45 days. 1992 was the incident with his neighbor. Then there was the pay scandal from 2018 when he worked on All the Money in the World. He got $1.5 million for the reshoots. Michelle Williams got $1,000. He did donate his portion after the backlash, which that was good. Still, his track record is an interesting one, and these are just the things we know about. Wahlberg has said, though, that he has spent the better part of his life trying to make up for his past wrongs. Most of Hollywood seems to want us to believe that paparazzi are out, just roaming like vultures, just waiting to snap the perfect photo, and that's not always true. Sometimes paparazzi might spontaneously be at a location if it's a known celebrity hub, or a hotel before a premiere, or a popular celebrity's house, or even a star-studded town like LA. But those random shots of people leaving the grocery store in the middle of nowhere, or some random coffee shop, those might not be as authentic as we are made to believe. Turns out paparazzi are sometimes called to a location, whether that's just to get some pictures of new talent out there, or to help set up a PR stunt. A paparazzi that regularly works with the Kardashians shared that Kim Kardashian sometimes texts him her location, even flying her favorite paparazzi around the world with her to get those perfect, glamorous, candid shots. Sure, some pictures of celebrities are definitely the real caught-off-guard thing, but definitely not all of them. Rebecca Ferguson may have let us know about a particularly nasty encounter with a castmate, but she is keeping their name out of the headlines, for now at least. Ferguson is in the film Dune 2, which just had its press tour. It was during an interview with Josh Smith on the tour that Ferguson revealed the shocking info that she was once screamed at on set by a co-star. The case was taken up by internet sleuths in no time, theories all over social media about who it could have been. Ferguson has chosen to keep that part to herself. She has since expressed that she shared the story mainly because it was a turning point in her perception of herself and her career, and wanted to share the story because it fit the question Smith had asked her. Still, people are angry about the way she was treated and what was said to her. The unnamed co-star allegedly yelled, "You call yourself an actor? This is what I have to work with? What is this?" Ferguson shared that though it did hurt in the moment, it was the first time she stood up for herself on a set, telling the person to get off her set and F off, and that she never wants to see them again. Since we don't know who she is talking about, we don't know if she never saw them again, but hopefully not. For the longest time, Britney Spears was hiding some pretty dark secrets, but not because she wanted to. During the pandemic, people began noticing something was up with Spears, and soon people started to piece together the restrictive nature of her conservatorship. The news of how her father basically, allegedly controlled every aspect of the singer's life rocked the internet and led to a large social media outcry to free Britney. The star allegedly had little control over her finances, family life, and just her life in general. Her book, The Woman in Me, dropped in 2023 and revealed more interesting stories and secrets about the singer's life. One particular story about how she got pregnant took the internet by storm. While Britney and Justin Timberlake were dating, she got pregnant with his baby, but felt she couldn't keep the child even though she really wanted to. Justin Timberlake just didn't feel ready to be a father, so Britney felt forced to end the pregnancy. In her book she wrote, "If it had been left up to me alone, I never would have done it, and to this day, it's one of the most agonizing things I have ever experienced in my life." The book highlighted that being the most popular person in the world is not everything it's cracked up to be, and Britney's story showcased just how controlled Hollywood stars might be. Madonna is a bit of a wild child now and no stranger to controversy, but she hasn't always had the easiest time. She's got a pretty rough history with ex-husband Sean Penn. Penn was accused of acting rudely towards the Material Girl singer during their marriage. The breaking point in the marriage happened when Penn allegedly tied Madonna to a chair and left. She sat for 9 hours. She did escape and managed to get to a police station to file a complaint. Penn was charged, but Madonna ended up pulling the complaints and instead filed for divorce, leaving the marriage with "May God bless and keep him, but far, far from me." Sean Penn's career may have suffered briefly, but he's still very active in Hollywood and has been in multiple big films over the years since the 1988 incident. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis tried to keep this secret as hidden as possible, much to the disappointment of their fans and the internet in general. Kutcher and Kunis starred on That 70s Show alongside Danny Masterson. Masterson was found guilty of acting inappropriately towards 2 women and will spend 30 years behind bars for his behavior. Great news to the average person. It was great news that he was even going to trial. It seems the news wasn't so awesome to Kutcher and Kunis, as the pair penned letters to the judge handling Masterson's case asking for leniency. The internet did not appreciate their efforts and was quick to put the actors in their place, so much so that they posted an apology video to Instagram. Alfred Hitchcock's legacy has shielded some of his more deranged actions from the public's consciousness in the decades since he has passed. Many hear the name and recall amazing films expertly put together, but the expert has truly insane ways of achieving what we get to see on the screen. It might surprise you, or not surprise you at all, to learn that the methods of creating his horror movie The Birds were just as horrific as the movie. Lead actress of the film, Tippi Hedren, shares a particularly harrowing story in her 2016 memoir Tippi. She writes about the day they were going to film the famous scene where her character is attacked by birds in the bedroom. Tippi shares that she was told the birds in the scene were going to be robotic. However, on the day of the shoot, she found out from the assistant director that the mechanical birds weren't working, so they had no choice but to use live birds. No choice? Really? Okay. This led to a brutal experience for the actress. 5 days of filming the scene where live birds were thrown at her. Tippi describes the ordeal as brutal and ugly and relentless, but it was going to get worse. On the final day, Hitchcock decided to tie the birds to her while she was laying on the floor, and once action was called, the birds started to peck. It wasn't until one nearly got her eye that she stopped it all and was doing so bad she had to go on a doctor's mandated week of rest. Judy Garland is forever immortalized as the cheerful, sweet Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, but the Ruby Red legacy is hiding a lot more heartache than anyone could have guessed. She didn't have an amazing relationship with her mother, and her schedule while working for MGM was always packed. Days started early and sometimes ended in the early morning of the next day. This led to Garland needing some outside assistance to keep on her feet, the kind of thing that would plague her for the rest of her life. The set of The Wizard of Oz looked magical, but it was no place for a girl. She was placed on a strict diet so she could look as small as possible so she would appear as young as possible. She endured poor treatment from studio exec and other actors throughout her career before passing away in 1969. Another example of a young star that was kept under close watch is Jennette McCurdy. She is also another example of a celeb who used a book to discuss her complicated feelings surrounding growing up famous. McCurdy's book, I'm Glad My Mom Died, does contain plenty of stories about her mom's treatment of her, which we will get to, but it also contained insider info on the experience of child stars. McCurdy writing that she felt her whole childhood and adolescence was very exploited. She shared that even years later, after being kind of out of the spotlight, she still feels the effects. She writes, "It still gives my nervous system a reaction to say it. There were cases where people had the best intentions and maybe didn't know what they were doing, and also cases where they knew exactly what they were doing. Most people hope that if a child is going to be entering the workforce of Hollywood so young, they would have a good parent at their side. Unfortunately, Jennette's book highlights that this isn't always the case. She shares stories of times she wished her mom had stepped up more, like when she had felt pressured into doing a bikini photo shoot when she wasn't yet 18. McCurdy continues to share situations that young stars might be put in by adults, including one in which McCurdy was offered an adult drink by someone she referred to as the creator. Jennette shared that whenever she would bring up how she felt uncomfortable with something, she would receive the comment, "Everyone wants what you have." The way young stars are treated in Hollywood is a profoundly uncomfortable topic, one that was just touched on in the landmark Quiet on Set documentary about Nickelodeon. One of the major stories that was told was that of Drake Bell. Without going into too many details, Bell was one of the biggest young actors Nickelodeon had. He was in a few different shows, mainly Drake and Josh, but would do guest appearances on other shows. He was a big deal. He was known for his outgoing, bright personality. So it came as a big shock to the world to hear about everything he was dealing with behind closed doors in the documentary. A dialect coach that worked with Nickelodeon had been acting inappropriately towards the young actor for an extended period of time. The coach did go to court, but in the opinion of many, did not get an adequate punishment for his behavior. Bell had kept the secret to himself for many years, but has now felt okay enough to share his experience. Corey Feldman has been calling out Hollywood for decades and no one listened. Allegedly, not even the police. Feldman shared that he did sit down with the police to share a list of names for them to investigate for acting inappropriately towards those under the age of 18, but the police didn't do much. Feldman had been in the industry since a very, very young age and has expressed that he doesn't like that fact. But the real sharing of Hollywood secrets came in his 2013 memoir, Choreography. He shared that industry adults acted inappropriately towards him when he was very much not an adult, and that some of those people are still or were still working. It's really heartbreaking that all this happened, and Feldman did share that it has been really hard for him, that he wants to fight the fight for survivors. Feldman also shares that he applauds all victims for letting their voices be heard, and he encourages the public debate to continue. Megan Fox was calling out big stars and this thing referred to as the casting couch long before the Me Too movement. The term casting couch can be literal or figurative. Without getting too into it, the term means someone getting a position on a movie set by doing a specific type of favor for someone. In a 2009 interview with GQ, Fox revealed that the people using this casting couch method weren't just producers or casting directors, but also some Hollywood legends, in her words. She said, "It's really so heartbreaking. Some of these people, like Hollywood legends, you think you're going to meet them and you're so excited, like, I can't believe this person wants to have a conversation with me, and you get there and you realize that's not what they want at all." If you can believe it, Megan Fox wasn't treated very well after this admission. Some people didn't believe her due to her sort of bad girl image at the time. It wasn't until years later in the Me Too movement that people took her past comments and stories as seriously as they should have. Britney Spears' life story and book about her life story exposed just how controlling Hollywood can be. The news of her father basically, allegedly, controlling every aspect of the singer's life rocked the internet and led to large social media outcry to free Britney from her conservatorship. It was revealed that the star had little control over her finances, family life, and just her life in general. Her 2023 book, The Woman in Me, dropped more interesting stories and facts about the singer's life. One particular story about how she got pregnant took the internet by storm. While Britney was dating Justin Timberlake, she got pregnant with his baby, but felt as though she could not keep the child, even though she really wanted to. Timberlake felt he wasn't ready to be a father, and so Britney ended the pregnancy. In the book she wrote, "If it had been left up to me alone, I never would have done it," and to this day, it's one of the most agonizing things I have ever experienced in my life. The book highlighted that being the most popular person in the world is not everything it's cracked up to be. Courtney Love had let us know about a certain recently convicted someone long before he was convicted. The certain someone that everyone knew what he was doing in Hollywood and yet nothing happened until recently. Hint, he shares a name with a popular fast food burger place. Yeah, that guy. Courtney Love hit a red carpet in 2005 and joined Comedy Central for an interview. The interviewer asked the blonde bombshell, "Do you have any advice for a young girl moving to Hollywood?" Love seemed unsure on how to respond at first, but then chose to become one of the first people to warn us about the burger name guy. She responded, I'll get libeled if I say it. If insert that man's name here invites you to a private party in the Four Seasons, don't go." The man many years later got in trouble with the law for those parties at the Four Seasons and what he would do to women there. Love, at the time, was treated very poorly after this moment, but has now received a lot of, well, love since all the stories came out, and is regarded as one of the first people that attempted to expose the terrible behavior. Jeanette McCurdy stood up to the entertainment industry when she released her book, I'm Glad My Mom Died. It revealed how child stars might sometimes not be protected by the people that should love them the most. In the book, McCurdy shared that she felt her whole childhood and adolescence were very exploited. Younger stars for years have unfortunately felt similar pressure to what McCurdy shared in her book, and we will get to some of them later in the video. About the revelation regarding her younger years, McCurdy shared, "It still gives my nervous system a reaction to say it. There were cases where people had the best intentions and maybe didn't know what they were doing, and also cases where they knew exactly what they were doing." McCurdy spent a lot of time talking about her mother in the book, which makes sense considering the title. Some stories that were shared include included a not yet able to consume certain beverages, McCurdy being offered one of those drinks by someone that she refers to as the creator. She also shared that she wished her mother had intervened when a photo shoot resulted in a not yet legal McCurdy feeling pressured to wear a bikini. McCurdy shared that instead of her mother standing up for her, she would often receive the reminder, "Everyone wants what you have." Bella Thorne and Zendaya starred on the Disney Channel show Shake It Up together. Even though the show was great, their relationship wasn't so amazing at first, at least according to Bella Thorne. Bella Thorne revealed the rough start to the pair's friendship on the show while speaking with US Weekly. Though the pair on the show were the best of friends in real life, Bella shared that the pair didn't even consider themselves friends until a couple seasons into the show. The reason for this? Bella says it was because people on the show were pitting the girls against each other. Bella shared that this fed into our heads. It made us not friends in that first season. It's sad to learn that a show that was so loved by young viewers hadn't been quite a safe space for the girls. This interview isn't the first time Bella has mentioned the made-up competition between them. In 2017, she said that the pair were forced to compete against each other and that they were placed in a very unfortunate position. It was an interesting reveal when Bella shared that the pair didn't actually become friends while working on their show, but instead while shooting an episode for another popular Disney show, Good Luck Charlie. That was the time for the two to set things straight. About this time, Bella said, "We were really able to put our cards out on the table and understand each other. From that point on, the pair did get along and are now friends." Kim Kardashian has let the cat out of the bag when it comes to the paparazzi. One photographer revealed that Kim regularly texts him where she is going to be so that he can come and take some shots of the reality TV star. It exposed something that a lot of people suspected, but it's nice to get confirmation on, that sometimes when you see a paparazzi photo of a celeb that looks a little too perfect to be candid, it might be because it's really staged and posed. The photographer revealed that Kim allegedly has him on speed dial and even flies him around with her to get the candid photos. He also reveals that the paparazzi pictures he takes get reviewed by Kim, and I'm assuming her team, and photoshopped before they are sold to major magazines and websites. This isn't the first and surely won't be the last time pops are hired for something like this. Long before the news around Kim K's pops made it out in 2016, stars of The Hills, Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag also had a similar agreement with some pops, crafting pictures of themselves to sell for profit. Now, this isn't to say that pops are always hired to take pictures. There are many times when that is clearly not the case, but the public has speculated for years that paparazzi might not be as random as they are portrayed. I mean, when you think about it, it makes way more sense that they might be called to a location instead of them just roaming a city with a big camera every night hoping to catch somebody. Jack Nicholson revealed an interesting tidbit about life on set. Apparently, certain substances were incredibly common, the kind of stuff that can get addictive if one isn't careful. Yeah, it might be no secret now that that kind of thing is common in Hollywood, but that wasn't always the case. In a 1980 interview, Nicholson shared that the substances ain't no big thing and that he would get influenced about 4 days a week. Again, the presence of certain things in Hollywood was something suspected by many that is nice to get confirmation on. It's also just surprising that it would be happening on set very commonly, apparently. Who could have guessed? Addictive on-camera performances could have come from an equally as addictive something else. Another actor, Dennis Quaid, further confirmed these vibes on set and how it didn't always go well. He actually said that the substances caused his entire life to fall apart and said that they were one of his greatest mistakes. The star of The Rookie and The Parent Trap revealed that originally he just used stuff casually since that was what everyone was doing. This and more was revealed in an article published in Newsweek. Quaid did reveal something even more shocking about Hollywood, that major studios would actually include the substances in their budgets. Quaid shares it was even in the budgets of movies, thinly disguised it was petty cash. So if you were to see petty cash listed in a budget, it probably meant something else entirely. Quaid went on to say that since everyone was doing the petty cash stuff, sets would sometimes supply it. People would even make deals. So while many have guessed that this stuff was present in Hollywood, it was a major shock to many to find out just how entwined it was with the movie making process. The recently released documentary Quiet on Set, featuring Nickelodeon star Drake Bell, is the most recent example of Hollywood's worst being exposed. Without going into too much detail, the documentary features Drake Bell sharing stories about what he experienced while working for Nickelodeon, stories of things that would make anyone feel sick. The admissions from the documentary have led to widespread support towards Bell and widespread hatred towards former dialogue coach Brian Peck. The documentary showed just how twisted Hollywood can be when it comes to young stars. Starting off
off, she uses Ozempic. Now, Oprah is known for being the face of Weight Watchers. She'd promote it all the time and maintain that if you followed the program, you would get results like her. Well, it seems like she got a little help from the magic weight loss drug, Ozempic. She's finally admitting to using weight loss drugs and said, in taking weight loss medication, I'm not constantly thinking about what the next meal is gonna be. She uses it in combination with hiking 3 to 5 miles a day, running, wave resistance training, and eating a healthy diet. This is what I got for the first time after I took the medication. All these years, I thought all of the people who never had to diet were just using their willpower, or they were for some reason stronger than me, Oprah said. And now I realize y'all weren't even thinking about the food. It's not that you had the willpower, you were obsessing over it. Yikes. So it seems like she was just selling lies to people who just wanted to feel better about their bodies. Up next is the Maui Fund. Dwayne Johnson and Oprah Winfrey launched the People's Fund of Maui, a fund intended to put money directly into the hands of adults displaced by the deadly wildfires that had ripped through Hawaii in August 2023. Now, according to their Instagram post, every adult resident who's displaced by the fires was eligible to receive $1,200 each month from the fund. Now, the pair noted that they had kicked off the campaign with $10 million in donations and asked others to help by contributing further. After announcing the fund, the pair drew criticism from some people on social media who questioned why they were not contributing more of their personal wealth. One person on TikTok called their video tone deaf. Some commenters questioned why the pair, as wealthy celebrities, were asking others to give instead of donating more themselves. We can't afford it, but you can, one person commented on their video on TikTok. You guys make more in a day than I'll make in my lifetime, another person wrote. Now, others questioned why the appeal for donations was being directed to the general public rather than their fellow stars with more financial means. This is disgusting, ask other celebrities, not people who are living paycheck to paycheck, another person said. Moving on to being exploitative. Critics have accused Oprah of sensationalism and exploitation in her talk show's early years. For example, there was an incredibly uncomfortable Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen interview that makes us cringe today. In 2004, Mary-Kate and Ashley were guests on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and at the time the interview took place, the twins were only 17 years old, and Mary-Kate had been hounded by the press about her weight, with intense media speculation that the star was suffering from an eating disorder. Oprah says, I know there's been a rumor that has recently surfaced that's really upset you, and Mary-Kate and Ashley were both clearly taken aback by the question, and a tense moment of silence followed, by Oprah saying, you know, the one about eating. Now, Mary-Kate was so thrown off by the line of questioning that she looked almost on the verge of tears, and Ashley jumped in to rescue her. Yeah, you know, people are going to write what they're gonna write, they say. After some awkward back and forth, Oprah asked the Olsen twins what dress size they are, and they reacted uncomfortable by saying, I don't know. It was obvious that the questions about their bodies were uncomfortable, but Oprah still pushed. When they said they weren't sure, Oprah hit back sarcastically saying, oh, you're not sure? That's interesting. Now, later the same year that the Oprah interview aired, Mary-Kate checked into a rehabilitation facility to seek treatment for a food-related health disorder, and Oprah should be ashamed of asking all of that. Then there's promoting pseudoscience. In 2007, Oprah brought Jenny McCarthy, the Playboy model and actress, onto her show to talk about autism. Jenny's young son, Evan, had suffered a series of seizures at 2.5 years old and was later diagnosed with autism. Now, Jenny was adamant that the MMR vaccination Evan received as a baby caused his autism. Oprah gave her story a platform and unwittingly started the panic we know today. Now, during the interview, Oprah never challenged Jenny's views either. Not to mention, she promoted the self-help book and film The Secret, which promotes the law of attraction, and many people accused her of promoting pseudoscience here as well. Now let's talk about the Letterman feud. Both Oprah and David Letterman effectively banned each other from their shows for 2 decades after a mysterious feud. Oprah had her talk show, The Oprah Winfrey Show, and Letterman had his late-night show, The Late Show with David Letterman. Now the feud started back in the 80s when Oprah made an appearance on The Late Show and felt that it was an uncomfortable experience. Now this made her refuse to be a guest on the show again. In response, Letterman began cracking jokes about Oprah and how much she hated him. Now this might have contributed to exaggerated rumors about her feelings towards him, but in any case, regardless of how much truth there were in these rumors, she did not speak to him for 16 years. Since then though, the two have made up a couple of times, but they've buried the hatchet and appeared on each other's shows. Now we have her dark upbringing. Oprah was born in Mississippi to a single teenage mother and grew up in extreme poverty. During her childhood, the cost of raising Oprah became too much for her mother to handle, so she was sent to live with her biological father. Since then, Oprah has come forward talking about how she's been mistreated and taken advantage of by her cousin, uncle, and a family friend. Now at 13, after suffering for years, she ran away from home, and at 14, she became pregnant. She gave birth to a son, but he was premature and died only a few weeks later, and she was able to overcome all of this, but man, she had it rough. On to her promoting a fake book. Oprah has a book club, and she added James Frey's book A Million Little Pieces to the reading list. Now when James was promoting his books on talk shows or other media outlets, it was referred to as a memoir. But large parts of the stories were later found out to be exaggerated or fabricated, sparking a media controversy. Now this was discovered after investigation was conducted by The Smoking Gun. They determined that James had actually fictionalized some of the story, and controversy arose after Oprah initially defended the book, but she later confronted James on her show. Now there's her medical ties. I think Seth MacFarlane said it best in 2020 when he said, "Oprah has done some wonderfully altruistic things with her career, but the use of her platform to amplify the voices of dubious characters rather than legitimate scientists has been a disservice," he wrote in a now deleted tweet. I hope she will lend her own powerful voice to correct it. Now the post included an LA Times article link that discussed medical misinformation from Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz, who Oprah supports. The exception to that is the elevation of these purveyors of pseudoscience. People like Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz, all the way back to Jenny McCarthy and the movement, he continued. And it's a strange dichotomy that I think a lot of people, particularly right now, are having trouble reconciling. You know this person has done all of this positive work for the world, and yet somehow has gotten caught up in this web of junk science on many occasions. Next up, we have being rude to guests. Now throughout her career, Oprah has been called out for not being as sensitive as she perhaps could have been. An interview she did with Dolly Parton in 2003 has resurfaced, with people questioning the star and her interview tactics. Some people have questions about what Oprah was asking Dolly, how she was asking, and what exactly her goal was by probing for personal information. Now in the first video, Oprah asked Dolly how she's able to look so good for her age, and Dolly gives her a funny answer. Now Oprah presses harder though, noting that Dolly has been open about having cosmetic work done, but Dolly rolls with the punches and admits to it. Now Dolly even says that she'll probably continue going under the knife, and some people are pointing out that Oprah looks disappointed that Dolly flipped it in her favor. Now a second clip from that same interview popped up as well, and Oprah dives right into a heavy subject, saying she heard Dolly fell into a huge depression at age 40. Now she doesn't really approach the topic with any sensitivity, and that's rubbed people the wrong way. And lastly, we have the scandal in South Africa. When the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls opened in Johannesburg in 2007, Nelson Mandela, Tina Turner, Sidney Poitier, Spike Lee, and Oprah herself attended the ribbon-cutting ceremony celebrating the landmark boarding school, founded with $40 million of Oprah's money. But less than a year later, 6 of the 152 students who had been personally selected by Oprah to attend the institution came forward to accuse dorm matron Virginia Tiny McGabo of mistreating them and taking advantage of them. "It has shaken me to my core," Oprah said, of returning to South Africa with a team of private detectives to investigate the allegations and personally speak with the girls. "This has been one of the most devastating, if not the most devastating, experiences in my life. It seems like she and the organization did not look into who they were hiring and how the operation was running, as this all could have been avoided."
First off, Tish Cyrus, Miley's mother, allegedly stole Noah Cyrus's man. Earlier last week, a source told Peep that the younger Cyrus sister was offended over her mom's relationship with the Prison Break star Dominic Purcell. The insider claimed that Noah and Purcell had previously hooked up and stopped seeing each other before the actor and Tish had pursued their own relationship. Noah and Dominic were seeing each other in a friends with benefits way, off and on. And then Tish started something up, the source said, adding that, quote, "Tish knew that he had been seeing Noah prior. Tish never gave Noah the chance to talk about all of this before they got married," the insider also noted. Tish and Dominic exchanged their I-dos in Maid of Honor Miley Cyrus's backyard on August 19th, 2023. agree. Noah was not present at the ceremony. What's even worse is that Tish allegedly hired security to keep daughter Noah out of the wedding. A source told Fox News Digital that to ensure Noah did not attend the ceremony, Tish hired lots of security. Noah's house in Malibu is located just blocks away from Miley's residence. The source added that at the time of the wedding, Miley was unaware of the relationship that Noah had with Dominic. Fox News Digital was also previously told that Noah and Dominic were seeing each other on and off but later cut ties. When Tish began dating him in 2022, she was privy of Noah's history with him, although there was no overlap. Noah and brother Brazen Cyrus allegedly spent their mother's wedding day together at Walmart, where Noah donned a Billy Ray Cyrus shirt and posted a cryptic message about loving her father to Instagram. Next up, let's discuss Miley and Billy Ray's troubled relationship. Billy Ray Cyrus, the 62-year-old country music icon, has reportedly attempted to mend his strained relationship with his daughter. The father-daughter duo has experienced a growing distance in recent years following Billy Ray's divorce from Miley's mom, Tish, and his subsequent marriage to 34-year-old singer Fire Rose. However, insiders suggest that Billy Ray has made efforts to reach out to Miley, including congratulating her on her recent Grammy win for her hit single, Flowers. Sources close to the family revealed to Us Weekly that Billy Ray has made several attempts to contact Miley, expressing his pride and congratulations. Despite the rift between them, friends of the family are hopeful that the estrangement will not be permanent. However, the insider also noted that Miley has chosen to align herself with her mom amid the family turmoil, leaving her relationship with her dad strained. Alright, now let's discuss some of Miley's past controversies. Miley was criticized for a dance number she did at the height of her Hannah Montana fame, which featured a pole at the 2019 Choice Awards. While singing her hit Party in the USA, Miley got up on top of an ice cream cart and straddled the pole as she belted out the lyrics. Miley claimed that she had no intentions of causing controversy. It wasn't a pole, it was actually just for stability, guys. I had a heel on. What do you want from me? The singer said in a clip from her Used to Be Young docuseries on TikTok. Was I really gonna do my performance without dancing on top of an ice cream cart? Cyrus said. Cyrus later admitted to British Vogue in June that she carried a lot of guilt and shame around that time period because of how her younger audience reacted to her edgier persona. I carried some guilt and shame around myself for years because of how much controversy and upset I really caused. Now that I'm an adult, I realize how harshly I was judged. I was harshly judged as a child by adults, and now as an adult, I realize that I would never harshly judge a child. After Miley's viral Wrecking Ball video, the world seemed to be in full meltdown. The song, which released in 2013, was under the radar for its explicit content. Cyrus shocked everybody by straddling a bulldozer ball in the video for Wrecking Ball. She received a lot of criticism from viewers and was labeled as a bad role model to her army of fans. Miley Cyrus was recently interviewed by ABC, where she spoke about her Wrecking Ball controversy and the open letter from the late Sinead O'Connor talking to her. First, talking about the controversy, Miley said, "I was expecting there to be controversy and backlash, but I don't think I expected other women like Sinead O'Connor to put me down or turn on me, especially women that had been in my position before." Now, let's discuss Miley's heated divorce. Miley and Liam Hemsworth had an on and off relationship that began after they worked together on the 2010 film The Last Song. The pair got engaged in June 2012, but called it off the following year. But in 2016, Hemsworth and Miley rekindled their romance and tied the knot 2 years later. However, the twosome split for good after 8 months of marriage. Following their split, Miley was accused of cheating on Hemsworth after she was spotted getting cozy with Caitlyn Caitlin Carter, the musician, for her part, shut down the allegations and cleared the air. "Once Liam and I reconciled, I meant it and I was committed," she wrote through a lengthy Twitter thread in 2019. "There are no secrets to uncover here. I've learned from every experience in my life. I'm not perfect. I don't want to be. It's boring. I've grown up in front of you, but the bottom line is I have grown up. I can admit to a lot of things, but I refuse to admit that my marriage ended because of cheating. Liam and I have been together for a decade. I've said it before and it remains true. I love Liam and always will." Miley's song Flowers had apparently a lot of hidden meaning. When Miley Cyrus announced the release date of her song from her 8th album, Endless Summer Vacation, there was a lot of excitement over it. But following its release, the melodic beat, catchy lyrics, and eye-catching music video certainly got fans talking. Not only was it her first song in 2 years, but Miley released it on her ex-husband Liam Hemsworth's birthday. On top of that, fans are pretty convinced the song is a response to Bruno Mars' When I Was Your Man, with theories even suggesting that the music video harbors references to her and Liam's former relationship. Many believe that the gold dress, which Miley sports at the beginning of the music video, is a hidden message about Liam's relationship with his Hunger Games co-star Jennifer Lawrence. Eagle-eyed fans think the dress resembles the gold gown that Jennifer wore as she attended the Hunger Games premiere alongside Liam in March 2012. The house in which the video was filmed for Flowers has also been a talking point when it comes to theories about Liam and Miley. The house is thought to be Miley's 5-bedroom Studio City home, which she reportedly purchased in 2011 for $4 million. It has been rumored that Liam previously cheated on Miley inside that exact house. Towards the end of the video, Miley can be seen strutting her stuff and dancing around her gorgeous home wearing an oversized black suit. This brings about another fan theory that the suit is in fact Liam's. As fans of the pair may remember, Liam sported a similar suit as he attended the Avengers Endgame premiere. Not only that, but there were rumors at the time that Liam could be seen telling Miley to behave for once as they posed on that exact red carpet. Miley Cyrus was apparently once a mean girl in her past. This once mean girl mocked Demi Lovato and Selena Gomez in an online video with her best friend Mandy back in 2008. On their YouTube channel, the teenage girls decided to mimic Miley's Disney rivals when they word for word copied one of Selena and Demi's recent YouTube videos. Although they denied doing this with cruel intentions, they later took the video down and apologized. Miley and Katy Perry locked lips during her tour in 2014, but this wasn't the first time the pair had shared a kiss. The girls have been friends since teenagers, and it's been speculated that Katy Perry's hit single I Kissed a Girl was actually inspired by her close relationship with Miley. Lastly, after much gossip and scandal about Miley's relationships, the superstar decided to set the record straight with a lengthy post on social media. The singer went all in during this outrage, which I must admit had some truth in it. Miley ranted about how the media treats her relationships, claiming that famous men aren't treated the same when they date multiple women. Her post said, quote, "Men, especially successful ones, are rarely shamed. They move on from one beautiful young woman to the next, most times without any consequence," she wrote. "They are usually referenced as legends or heartthrobs or a ladies' man, etc., where women are called awful names. I am just trying to thrive and survive in a man's world. If we can't beat 'em, join 'em. Can't I just have a kiss in an acai bowl?" she continued, referencing to the news that spiked the rant, a TMZ video of Miley kissing 22-year-old Cody Simpson while on an acai bowl date in Los Angeles. Jim Carrey, one of the biggest and highest paid actors of our time, has shared his thoughts on Hollywood since retiring from the spotlight. After the Chris Rock Will Smith Oscars slap incident, Carrey shared his opinions on the standing ovation Will Smith received when winning an Oscar later that night. "Hollywood is just spineless, and it really felt like it was a clear indication that we aren't the cool club anymore. Carey went on to say that Smith should have been escorted from the Dolby Theater after slapping Rock for making an insensitive joke about his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. In March 2022, Carey announced to Access Hollywood that he was probably retiring from acting. "Well, I'm retiring. Yeah, probably. I'm being fairly serious," he shared. "It depends. If the Angels bring some sort of script that's written in gold ink that says to me that it's going to be really important for people to see, I might continue down the road, but I'm taking a break." Carey added, "I feel like, and this is something you might never hear another celebrity say as long as time exists, I have enough. I've done enough. I am enough." Our second celebrity is Demi Lovato. Demi Lovato starred in many Disney Channel movies and shows like Camp Rock, Princess Protection Program, and Sunny with a Chance. But on a podcast, Lovato shares she, as well as many of her co-stars, were subjected to harsh treatment and multiple strict rules and regulations while working for the company. She said, "You can't be seen at a party with a red cup in your hand because it looks like you're drinking." There was this website called Ocean Up that would take all scandalous things that were happening to Disney actors and put it on there, so we lived in fear of that website. I didn't have food in my hotel room. They wouldn't let me eat the snacks in the mini bar. Then my security walked by my room and was made aware that they had barricaded me into my hotel room. They put furniture outside my door so that I couldn't get out and sneak out and eat if I wanted to. It was that level of controlling when it came to my food, which just made my eating troubles worse. She also stated that she felt that she was practically taking care of her own family. At a certain point, I was paying for the roof over my whole family's head, and my dad had quit his job to become my manager, so his income was coming right from me. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, and there was just that pressure of I'm paying for everything and like I need to keep going because if things start to disappear, so does the finances. Our next celeb on the list is Isla Fisher. The actress nearly drowned while filming a scene in Now You See Me. Fisher discussed what went wrong with the stunt, and it is horrifying. I was in a tank of water. My character is submerged in a tank, and piranhas are dropped on her head, she says. And whilst we were there, we shot it over 3.5 days. Even though I had a quick release magnetic thing on my handcuffs, the chain that went between my ankles and my wrists was not able to be broken, and it got stuck underneath the slat, and I was trapped. The actor also discussed the kill switch in the tank. There was a quick release switch that could have emptied the tank of water in 70 seconds. However, as a result of being tangled, Fisher was unable to reach for the switch. I was very scared, and I was banging and saying, "Set me free!" But everybody just thought I was doing fabulous acting. They thought I was being Meryl Streep in that tank. Actually, I was drowning. I guess Hollywood really wanted that good take. Our next celebrity is model Miranda V. The modeling world seems harmless, but darkness looms. Miranda accused Gigi and Bella Hadid's father of inappropriate physical behavior in a lengthy Instagram post in February 2018. Thank you, Kate Upton. It is time people like @Paul Marciano and Mohammed Hadid get exposed for who they really are. I met with Paul at his guest headquarters. That's actually an apartment. I thought it was a professional meeting, but it was just me, him, and champagne where he inappropriately touched me in an apartment. All to get a test shoot for guests. Former Disney Child star Alyson Stoner exposes Hollywood with her new podcast, and some of the claims are alarming. Alyson said, "I lost the ability to relate to non-famous experiences after the age of 8. Imagine on your 8th birthday you could never walk outside again without being stopped, asked for photos, or followed, unless you wore a disguise or brought security with you." Alyson also mentioned the horror when they had to kiss both Dylan Sprouse and Cole Sprouse for an episode of The Sweet Life. The experience left them with conflicted feelings. Your character may have some arc or transformation that isn't evident upon reading the script of the first episode, Stoner explained. So writers and executives might decide to make your character do anything on the next episode, and it's assumed that you're gonna agree to whatever is scripted. My first kiss, and several of the times I experienced kissing, all happened on camera. On camera. Was I ready for that? No, I felt young and uncomfortable, Stoner said, but they were already under contract and didn't want to appear difficult. Another celeb that has exposed Hollywood is Selena Gomez. The superstar who boasts 430 million followers on Instagram often speaks about the downside of being famous, telling Interview magazine in 2020 that everything she does causes a reaction, saying, "The sad part is, I don't remember a time when that wasn't the case. What has kept me afloat is that I know eventually it'll be somebody else, and I don't mean that in a negative way." She said, adding that fame has still allowed her to talk about things that are important to her. "A huge part of why I have a platform is to help people. That's why I think I'm okay with the magnitude. I mean, I'm not really okay with it, but I'm gonna say that I am because it's worth it." Perhaps the celebrity with the most famous Hollywood horror story is Miss Britney Spears. In 2008, Jamie Spears, her dad, was granted the conservatorship after Britney reportedly struggled with mental health issues and was hospitalized. After Britney was released, a Los Angeles court made the conservatorship permanent, giving her father power over all her finances and her medical decisions. Although Britney was an adult at the time, she was treated like a prisoner and says she was not allowed to leave her house unless granted permission. Her father was making more money than her because he was taking a huge percentage of her earnings and not telling her. Wow, what a father he is. The greed of Hollywood doesn't stop there though. Scientology, a popular organization in Hollywood, has been known to take insane amounts of money from its members, claiming the payments will get them into a higher level in the afterlife. Actress Leah Remini, a former Scientologist, exposes the organization for the way they ruined her life after she left. The actress, who was brought into the church as an 8-year-old after her mother converted to the religion, slammed the organization for its alleged scare tactics and seemingly helping certain members avoid jail for various horrible crimes. Leah met famous Scientologist/actor Tom Cruise while still in the organization, but had to pay $1 million to do so, which she paid. After leaving, Leah sued the organization for alleged stalking and hacking. She states she reportedly had cars chasing her and following her every single day and had hackers hack into her bank account and steal thousands of dollars, all because she left the organization. Yikes. Not all Hollywood drama comes from Hollywood though. And this was the case for Kim Kardashian in Paris. In October 2016, while on a work trip to Paris, Kardashian was robbed at 3 a.m. while alone in her hotel. She was tied up and blindfolded while men in masks raided the hotel room for money. In the end, $10 million worth of jewelry was stolen, as well as 2 cell phones. Kim's sisters and bodyguards were at the club while everything took place, and Kim decided to stay home because she was tired. Boy, was that a life-changing mistake. Kim recalled the fear that she felt during a conversation with the concierge, who was also held hostage in that moment. She says to the concierge, "I'm like, what is happening? Are we gonna die? Just tell them I have children. I have babies. I have a husband. I have a family. Like, I have to get home. Tell them, take anything you want." 2 French judges later charged 12 people in relation to that robbery. Kardashian, who shares 4 kids with ex-Kanye West, has said that she almost lost herself in the year following the crime. Explaining on the Alec Baldwin show in 2018, "I was never depressed, but I wasn't motivated to get up and work like I used to. It shook me." However, the reality star also shared that she has learned to feel grateful for the experience in a way. "There was a lot of me that measured who I was by how much I had. I thought, oh, I'm worth so much," she noted. "That needed to change in me." Our final celebrity of the day is Miley Cyrus. Although Hannah Montana was a family-friendly show, starring in it gave Miley an identity crisis, she says. "I had gone from being a character almost as often as I was myself." And actually, the concept of the show is that when you're this character, when you have this alter ego, you're valuable. You've got millions of fans, you're the biggest star in the world, and then the concept was that when I looked like myself, when I didn't have the wig on anymore, nobody cared about me. I wasn't a star anymore. So that was drilled into my head, Cyrus explained. I really had to break that, and I think that's maybe why I almost created a characterized version of myself at times, in the way of being aware of how other people see me. I never created a character where it wasn't me, but I was aware of how people saw me, and I maybe played into it a little bit, Cyrus continued. Speaking of her persona after, Cyrus has also talked about how the costumes and makeup took their toll on her, likely causing some body dysmorphia. I'm this fragile little girl playing a 16-year-old in a wig and a ton of makeup. It was like toddlers and tiaras. She said that being made to look like somebody she wasn't and made pretty for so many years meant that when it ended, she didn't know who she was.